Hey YouTube, Israel here with another knife review. Today I have the Kershaw Drone. First close up. And this is a fairly small knife. The blade length, it's around 3 inches, depending on where you're going to measure from. And that's why I'm doing this tabletop, so you can actually, see better close-ups of this small blade. The price tag on this, it was around $27. And this is part of Kershaw's 2011 budget line. It is made in China for Kershaw, thus the bargain price. And this is the smallest knife in their budget line. The Tremor, which I've already reviewed, I think is the biggest. All right, and as you can see, it is a flipper opening. The opening is nice and smooth. All right, and it is a partial hollow grind. It does have a stonewash finish. It might be hard to tell exactly, but it is not bead blast. It is stonewashed, and it looks a lot nicer than typical bead blast finish. Now it is a liner lock mechanism, you see there. It is mostly closed construction, you see that spacer there. And the handle scales, right, there is a diamond type texture pattern on the handle scales, raised diamonds. And it is FRN, okay, so lightweight plastic. See the pivot screw there, that is an Allen screw. Alright, and it comes right side tip down carry. You see the pocket clip. A lot of people don't like Kershaw pocket clips because they look pretty weird, and I got to agree there. It looks like the tongue of some strange animal. Okay, but that's not gonna stop me from buying the knife because it is a good price. Oh, and that clip, it is adjustable, tip up or tip down. Right, but it is right side only. Boom. Alright, and this is designed by Tim Galan. Okay, he's a famous knife designer. Now you see those, what appear to be thumb studs, those are actually just blade stops. I wouldn't try to use them as thumb studs because they're pretty small. Right, and you see the handle, main feature is the finger choil right there, and the flipper turns into a guard, so it does lock you in securely. There's a little bit of jimping right there, but it is kind of recessed, so it's not very functional. See the blade shape itself, partial hollow grind, stonewash, drop point design. A nice belly for a small knife. It does have full steel liners, and it is a fairly thick knife for its short length. And if you're wondering about the quality of these budget Kershaws, they have them made in China, and they're about the same quality as your average SRM, that's Sanrem New knife. A lot of people are familiar with Sanrem New. You can buy them on eBay. I'd say it's about that level of quality, so it's a solid, I'd give it a solid maybe a B or a B minus. Definitely usable, especially as a small beater knife. Let me give you a size comparison with another well-known knife, another Kershaw. Alright, Kershaw Skyline. Oh, this is assisted opening, by the way. When you open it a little bit, the spring takes over. It's pretty convenient. It's a very simple, reliable form of deployment. But let's take a look at one of Kershaw's competitors to its own line, the classic Kershaw Skyline. Now this is the Damascus version, but the regular bead blast version goes for $30, and like I said, this was $27. So the regular Skyline is actually, well, let's see how they measure up in terms of a size comparison. You see the Skyline is slightly longer than the Drone. All right, but these are very comparable knives. in terms of they're both around 3 inches in blade length, and they're both around $30, and they're both Kershaws. Alright, so which one would you want? Well, it really depends. You see, you know, the Skyline is a spear point, whereas the drone is a drop point. A little bit bigger belly on the drone. Alright, and the Skyline is fairly thin, easy to carry, whereas the drone is fairly thick. So if you're looking for ease of carry, you know, you probably want the Skyline. But this would give a better grip, especially if you have large hands. Okay, so if you have big hands and you want something to fill those hands better, then maybe you'd want the drone. Or you can just do, you know, you can get both. I mean, they're both have different uses and some overlap. I would say this is a small EDC beater knife, you know, whereas the Skyline, obviously you can see it's almost dagger-like, has some defensive applications, but you know, this is more of a work/beater, small size blade, and it would do well at that task. The steel on this is the 8CR13 MOV, a popular steel now that's being used in a lot of the less expensive folders. And you know, for the price, it's certainly usable and appropriate to use that steel. Alright, so the Kershaw Drone. I do recommend it for the price. The initial sharpness, very sharp. The stonewash is attractive. It's a functional blade shape, small enough to be easy to carry, and with the price you can use it as a beater. The deployment is very good, very reliable, and it's an overall solid knife. There's no blade play whatsoever on mine. The lockup is very secure. So for the price, yeah, I'd recommend it. If you're looking for a small size EDC beater knife, go ahead and pick up the Kershaw Drone. Alright, and this has been Israel. I hope you enjoyed this knife review. Stay tuned for many more. Peace out, dudes.